What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for jumping in to this video today. My name is Danny Coldblood, aka Music Idiot, and I have a very special and important video for you all. Everyone that's been trying to find Bigfoot, well, I think we are on the right trail as we follow the steps and did something uncanny to try and trap and catch his ass. In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly what we did. But in order to do that, we have to go back to my previous video, Secret Alien Easter Egg, that's in Farcry 5, and how we used the method in that video and applied it to try and catch Bigfoot. Now, for those of you that didn't see that video, basically you and a friend can go in co-op and play the story, and the mission where Larry gets abducted, you can have your friend stand in the beam, or yourself, whoever, but whoever stands in the beam and gets abducted with Larry will see a secret Easter egg. They'll be brought into a separate scene where they, and only they, will see this crazy alien Easter egg. And there's a lot more explained, so definitely go see the video if you didn't see the video. But basically, me and my buddy, Good Nightmare, went ahead and used that method for the mission with Sasquatch. The mission Gone Squatch It. And basically, if you have already done this mission, you could take a friend that has not done this mission, or vice versa, and go ahead and try to see if you guys can catch Bigfoot in the act. Because as we know, there's a person that gets killed during this mission. We can hear the screams. What's really stopping you from going over to the area where Dansky's body is and then having your friend, read that paper, which activates and triggers the screams that we hear, the Yeti killing that person within the Gone Squatching mission? The answer is nothing. Nothing is stopping you from doing that. And if anything, I just showed you guys the Easter egg with the alien. If anything, they are teaching us within Far Cry that we can do that. We can have a friend in our game, and by utilizing co-op, we can actually catch secret Easter eggs that are in the game that you normally wouldn't catch, that you normally wouldn't see by yourself, as another person can be doing something else. So we went ahead and played Gone Squatching. Me and Good Nightmare went ahead and tried to find Sasquatch himself, catch him in the act, and we know one thing from reading this note right by where we start the mission at Dansky's house, that we have clues that say that Bigfoot will be most likely found at night, so we do take that into consideration, guys. I usually do when I'm trying to hunt for Bigfoot, and let me tell you guys, there's a lot that got caught within this mission. There's a whole lot of clues to follow, and a definite trail left behind for us to investigate. I want to mention there's tons of blood right there at the very beginning of the area that we start to investigate from that broken platform, and a lot of footprints in the ground, and these are definitely odd footprints. They are Bigfoot footprints, I am convinced. So it's not just some animal that kills that guy when we hear the screams. It's not someone falling to their death, I don't believe. I believe we definitely have Bigfoot in this area. If you take a close look, there's tons of blood. There's blood all over, and there's definitely footprints that appear to be a huge overgrown human, which would be Bigfoot. And as I investigated these footprints in the ground a little bit more closely, I noticed something that's definitely proof that Bigfoot is in this area, or at least was at one point in time. As we notice that there's blood all over the place. But under closer observation while investigating this, I zoomed in with the camera and noticed that there's also more prints, but they look like they were made by like a human's boot, like a footprint by a man. So it shows you the size of a regular person's footprint, and then it shows you the size of Bigfoot's footprint, and you can see how big the Bigfoot footprint is compared to the other footprints, which appear to be left by a man or a person's boot. So we know that Bigfoot is now a fact. There is no doubt about it. There are prints in the ground proving that he is real. We just have to catch him. And there's a couple things that we found along the way that are definitely going to interest you guys, and I can't wait to explain exactly what we did, how we did it, and what we found. So, as we followed the trail, we seen the footprints leading directly up to the location that we have to go for the mission anyway. So if anything, we know that we are at least in an area that Bigfoot was in. So when you're in this area, I would have your eyes peeled, whether you're doing the Gone Squatching mission, or if you've already done it, just when looking around this area in free mode. So we had our eyes peeled, we had a plan, and I want to show you guys exactly what happened. We had one guy stand here, my buddy Good Nightmare, and waited. He didn't open it up and activate the screams and everything that you hear when you start to read that paper. He stayed there while I went up in the mountains right by the dead body, and I stood there and I waited for him to be ready, and he waited for me to be ready, and we were all set to catch Bigfoot. Before we show you guys what happened, I want to point something out that I found along the way, making my way up to that location. The game makes it very clear that there's only one way to really get there if you're not using a helicopter. There's a certain path to take, and while I was making my way up there, I noticed a cave-like area over next to the platforms I was climbing, and it seems very suspicious. It seems like there's a boulder or something in the way covering up the cave, and in my opinion, I think that this area that appears to be a cave with a rock covering it, that just happens to be along the path it takes to go through the Bigfoot mission, needs a little bit more investigation. So stay tuned for the next video, as I will be talking about this cave and a couple other things involving Bigfoot that I don't believe anybody else has found. So stay tuned, guys. I got some really good stuff for you guys in the near future. So getting back to the whole entire plan that we had, having one guy stay down here and then having the other guy up here, and catching Bigfoot in the act as we hear the screams and growls during this mission. We know that nighttime is a specific from the note that we found by Dansky's house. It appears to be the best time and place to catch Bigfoot in the act. So let's have him open up the letter, which triggers what appears to be Bigfoot killing a person, possibly Dansky, up here in the mountains. Let's go ahead and check it out, guys. This is what happened when he opened up those letters and had me up here stalking out the situation to catch Bigfoot live in the act. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Bigfoot, although we heard screaming and the growling. I actually want to mention that the sound in the game when I was playing it, it sounded like the screams came from a completely different area. It sounded like the screams came from that cave. That's why I mentioned the cave, because not only did it seem suspicious when I found it, but then when I heard the screams up there at the body, I heard them come from this area. So I definitely think that this is a place to be investigated a little bit more. And as we listen, tell me if you think the screams sound super close or if they do sound a little bit more in the distance, because I think that that is a super big clue, and we'll talk about it more in a second. So here is the clip again of me up there trying to catch Bigfoot in the act, while the papers are activated by my friend down below, and Bigfoot apparently is killing off somebody, what appeared to be Dansky, but now maybe it's somebody else completely different. When we hear those screams and the Yeti growling and all that other stuff, we always assume that it was Dansky that was being killed. But why should we assume that? Because he's not the only body that we find up there. Why wasn't it this guy? I know that its skeleton remains, and of course it's been there longer, but we can see that this is a location that Bigfoot has killed more than one person at. We have Dansky, we have bones, we have other sets of bones, and this is something that we should understand. The game has Dansky sitting up there, and there is no attack when stalking out the situation. Actually, I want to go ahead and point something else out to you guys. We went ahead and took footage before we ever started the mission, and the truth of the matter is that Dansky's body could be found before you ever even start the prepper mission gone squatching. Okay, we went ahead and checked out the whole area, every location of relevance, and it is definitely noticed that the papers are there flying off the platform, and even Dansky, his body is up there. So if you think about it, you can actually find Dansky's body before you ever start this prepper mission. Why would they do that? Why would they have you be able to start this backwards? They already shown us from the alien Easter egg with Larry being abducted that you can do things with co-op, have your friend go to a certain spot to see something special. I truly believe that if it was Dansky that we heard being killed, then we would have been able to see it while utilizing the awesomeness of co-op. But we did not see it. His body has been there well beforehand, and that tells me that we should follow the screams and any other clues that we find in the area, because there is clues in the area, and there is stuff that I have found with my friends, and there is definitely more than just this mission and this area. And you guys, if you're interested in finding Bigfoot in single player or co-op, then make sure you do not miss the next Bigfoot video I upload, because it is going to show you guys exactly how much Bigfoot is definitely in this game, how real he actually is. There are definitely clues, and there's definitely a trail and path to follow, and I can't wait to show you guys what we found while we were investigating, what we picked up on. So if you guys have been following since the first Bigfoot video, you'll see how we followed the path that led us to where we are now, and how we've been getting closer and closer. So guys, where is Bigfoot? Where should we look next? All of that information in the next video coming up, so stay tuned, and hopefully you guys will all have an experience like we did. So stay tuned, happy hunting, and as always, peace!